Welcome back everyone to another Borderlands 4 video, and today we're going to be going over everything you need to know about the upcoming Invincible boss to Borderlands 4, Bloomreaper the Invincible. So the first thing to note is that this is the very first Invincible coming to the game, and it's going to also be accompanied alongside a brand new UVH level. So not only are we getting the Invincible boss, but we are getting UVH 6. If I had a guess, it would probably be the unlock challenge as well to defeat Bloomreaper to get Bloomreaper to get Bloomreaper. Yeah, no, to get UVH 6 would be to defeat Bloomreaper on UVH 5. That's just my guess. However, this boss is going to be located, from the looks of it, in Carcadia Burn. We have a video on screen here that we're going to go through and show a little bit more about it, as well as a short clip of what to expect when you're in the fight. Bloomreaper is going to have a vile crystal shield covering its flesh HP bar, so having splash weapons is going to be absolutely key in this, as well as some incendiary or just flat out kinetic damage to nuke him. In this video as well, they tease a weapon that's going to be dropped from Bloomreaper, as well as the amount of drops, and I want to say it was 5 or 6, but without further ado, let's just dive into this video.
We're bringing back Invincible bosses. Sam, what's an Invincible boss?
For those uninitiated, Kairos is full of badasses and
Bad arses.
bad arses. Sorry, flip up the mode. Yep. And these guys are the baddest arse of all. Invincibles are end game level bosses, extra hard even if you're at level cap. So you got to grind for some really great loot to beat them, and your reward is, of course, more great
More loot!
Yep.
I think it's not baddest arse, it's bad arsist.
Bad arses.
Yes, I think that, yes.
And Andrew, you've been working on this DLC. Let's show people what this first boss looks like.
It's crazy. It's bananas.
There it is.
That's a boss. Yeah,
Tell us who
Andre
this
2
is.
sucks. This
Yeah,
thing's gonna destroy.
Yeah, this is Bloomreaper the Invincible.
Bloomreaper.
Bloomreaper. So I'm not sure if that's really a fauna or flora, but it's the biggest one we got here on
Somewhere in between.
Kairos. Yeah, somewhere in between there. But we wanted to give the players kind of the hardest challenge we've got available so far.
So here's
This
what it
is
looks
an
like
apex
in the
predator,
fight.
and it's gonna turn carnivores into vegetarians because this thing needs to be eaten. It is, it's dangerous.
Get a little stir fry going.
Yes.
Where does it reside on Kairos?
So this is going to live up in the cliff sides and the spires, kind of in the mountains of Kairos. We're going to be fighting it up there, kind of on its own turf.
It's a new area players haven't been to,
Yeah.
right?
Yep, and maybe turf is a misnomer there, because there's not going to be much turf around taking this guy on. When we're fighting him, we're going to be dashing and grappling and gliding between different platforms and plateaus, just trying to find some safe ground to stand on while we're trying to take this guy down.
And find spots to even damage the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and it drops dedicated loot.
Yeah, we've got about 5 pieces of gear coming from this guy.
Can you tease one? Or is that giving away too much?
Yeah, we can give one away here. We've got one called Mantra that'll be coming out with this that is kind of themed around Amara. So we wanted one that kind of works really well with some of the melee builds that we've been seeing out there. So this is going to be something that we think is going to work really well with there. You know, Amara used a lot of spiritual fists and stuff with her action
Wait, the
skills.
gun shoots fists?
It does shoot fists.
All right, that's awesome. We're bringing back.
So the main things I want to touch on in this, obviously they talked about the weapon at the end, but the boss fight itself. So you could see in this arena here, let me just mute this. You could see these little crystals that are circling the boss. My guess is that these are the crystals that we're going to have to destroy in order to get access to its health bar. So it doesn't seem like it's gonna be, obviously this is a very small arena, and it looks like there's small platforms down underneath. Maybe there's something below the platform that we're gonna have to shoot as well. I don't know about that, but regardless, bringing weapons that deal splash damage, you know, you got your wombo combos, anything that can deal a ton of splash damage is going to be what you want to bring to this, just to get rid of the vile crystals. And then if you have your incendiary builds, or if you just have a nice kinetic build that can absolutely cook health bars, you should be in absolute business. The last thing I want to touch on is that weapon, where they talked about the weapon mantra being built around Amara and her fists. So myself and a lot of people around the community seem to believe that this is going to be a face puncher-esque weapon, which I know a lot of people have their opinions on that. However, I'm not too mad about it, to be honest with you. Obviously, melee hit reg in this game can be quite annoying, especially on Amon, and that's one thing that I really wanted them to provide a fix for. This kind of seems like a band-aid fix, but regardless, it seems to be we're going to be getting a face puncher-esque weapon. We're going to have a bunch of different things dropping from this boss. One I really hope for is that we get a UVH6 locked drop, so one that is dedicated to UVH6 only, so we have a reason to play this on UVH6 aside from just unlocking it and testing builds against the highest health bar in the game. That's my real big hope for this boss, is that we get that, because right now it is just not worth it to farm on anything other than UVH1, which, I mean, I guess it's fine, it'll go quicker, so that's fine with me, but I would love for there to be a reason to play on the higher UVH levels, you know, similar to in Borderlands 3 when we had mayhem locked weapons. So with Bloomreaper, I really hope that this boss not only gives everyone a reason to come back and, you know, play the game a lot more, but it's also not just a cakewalk of a boss fight. I don't want it to be something where there's like health gates and immune phases, but I want this to be a challenge. I don't want to walk in there with a build, get the crystals gone, and then just one-shot the boss. I hope this boss has a massive health pool, like upwards of 100 million plus. I wouldn't even be mad if it was closer to 1 billion, because if you follow the channel, you know that we have our Amon build that just has the capabilities of doing 1 billion damage. And the fact that this is a flesh boss, that build alone, once you get the vile crystals out of the way, I mean, you'll be able to one-shot this boss with that build. So I really do hope that there is the chance that this boss has a nuclear amount of HP. On top of all that, though, I hope there is a pretty juicy, significant amount of updates that come alongside Bloomreaper, balancing, tuning, adding additional things to the end game, like they talked about in the previous big update, where they want to work on having multiple encore bosses at once and giving us the ability to spawn in the middle of wildcard missions, so they are shorter and we don't have to do a ton of waiting around and talking to different NPCs. Let me know your guys' thoughts on Bloomreaper, what you expect and what you hope down in the comments. I appreciate you guys making it to the end of the video. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Enjoy the rest of your day / evening, whatever time it may be. Guys, peace.